Hi, my name is Brody, and I'm an email marketing specialist here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and this is my 600 square foot apartment. My partner and I moved into this space of August 2021. When it came time to move into the unit, I took a lot of time to scroll through Pinterest just to see some inspiration on what others did to work with yellow walls. The palette that I really gravitate towards was black and white. Some simple balancing with the gray tones, it really complemented specifically the bright boldness of the wall. To better inform us of the space, I would bring it through Photoshop just to make sure our thoughts would work within the space without having to seem out of place. Since two people were going to be living in the space, something that was very important for us both was to consider the structure of the space. What works best with our behaviors, how we could optimize the apartment to ensure that it didn't feel like a small space, to get a better idea about what we should do when designing for a smaller space. I looked up a lot of different YouTube channels that helped better articulate my thought process with designing in smaller capacities. I highly recommend, if you guys have never seen the Never Too Small YouTube channel, Living Big in a Tiny House. Two particular channels have truly transformed my way of thought in terms of the overall design and capabilities of living in smaller confined spaces. I'll put the links to both of those channels down below in the description if you guys ever want to check them out. When you first enter the unit, to your right is a giant mirror for their hallway closet. To better optimize the closet itself, I've added these three different storage boxes from IKEA. The first one is mostly construction items. It kind of serves as a makeshift toolbox. The other boxes are just kind of odds and ends. For the space, I also added this additional shoe storage from IKEA. It's also a fantastic way for us to utilize the space better. On top of the shoe rack, I added this yarn bucket to contain all of our tote bags. So when we are leaving the apartment, it allows for quick and easy access. Just quickly grab a reusable tote bag and go off to the grocery store. So I found this IKEA under the sink storage unit, this cutout at the top that's initially for the piping, but it works perfectly to quickly dropping in your recycling. You can just open up the doors and you can take out your recycling bin. It functions the exact same way, but it's a little bit more discreet. Underneath the recycling bin, we do have a robot vacuum, which is a great space additionally for having them clean. It again is discreet, so our guests don't have to see our cleaning appliances. It's tucked away. As soon as it's done its job, it returns back to home. Next to the entrance of the apartment is the den that we converted into a multi-purpose space that can facilitate being both a guest room and an office space. We decided to go for a primarily white space, having the majority of the items in the space be white to make the space feel larger and more breathable. We added this IKEA clothing rack to better store guest items and as well as hold additional storage for seasonal clothing and for coats. At the entrance, we added this IKEA curtain that adds a sense of privacy for guests and as well acts as a sound barrier for whenever we're on calls in the office. The kitchen is one of my favorite spaces in the apartment. We had to consider it a lot when it came to the usability and optimization of the space. The unit does come with a hidden fridge and freezer and dishwasher, which is very different from anywhere we had previously lived. I love the hidden cabinets to hide these different appliances. It makes it really nice in terms of the aesthetic. In terms of organizing the space, there was a couple of different components that we had to add into addition to make sure that we were utilizing every nook and cranny that we possibly could. I added this Viera to the cupboard to further organize the pots and pans for cooking in the oven. I also added a wall-mounted container to this cupboard to hold miscellaneous kitchen items. Above the oven, we also have an extra laptop and phone stands in this cupboard as we're always watching shows or different TikTok recipes when we're cooking. I added this bar cart to the end of this island counter to extend the space. It also acts as additional storage for our microwave oven. It's our bread box. On top of the cart, it is our Google Home Center. It acts as a center for all of our Google Home devices that spread around the space. It's perfect for when we're hosting and we need a little bit of ambiance to this space. To the left of our kitchen, we have a coffee cabinet. I found this console table specifically from Sqft. To the left side of the console are air fryer, wine glasses, wine racks, and board games. Its drawers are perfect for holding our coffee mugs and teas. Above, I added the Linven mirror from IKEA. It plays into the circular motif we have throughout the apartment, and it works to extend the space. I think it's important for the living room, especially in a smaller space, to be able to adapt to the needs of an ever-changing environment. It needs to be able to host, be entertaining, while still maintaining a functionality that allows you to be kind of lazy and laid back. Considering this versatile space was important to ensure that it didn't become too claustrophobic or too noisy, or even anything to block the focal point, which is the view. After multiple iterations of the space, I've opted in a couple of different components to maximize the space for functionality and mobility. Rather than the rectangular coffee tables, I swapped it in for a circular coffee table, as it helps with the flow of the space and it avoids acting as a barrier for the space. We decided to add this large rug from IKEA. It helps fill up the space, making it appear larger than it actually is. It helps guide your eyes to the other corner of the apartment and vice versa. Above the couch are these two picture frames from IKEA. The pictures that we chose are significant to each of us. The one on the left is a Turkish photographer that specifically takes photos of Turkish landscapes. It symbolized a home away from home. The photo on the right is symbolic of some photographs I've taken in my university days. It's just a little bit of a reminder of my artistic background and upbringing. I got this couch from Sqft. It was a good fit visually. It's not the comfiest of couches. After an hour of sitting on it, it does eventually hurt your back. So honestly, I don't think it's worth the price. These lamps are from Sqft. Again, it was very unique to us to have it connected, of course, to our Google Home. I was able to connect it specifically using these Casa smart plugs. At the simple ask, I can command all of the lights to turn off or on. Okay, Google, turn off the living room lights. In the other corner of the living room, I added this chair from West Elm and a terrazzo-style side table from Hudson's Bay. I added this cell phone stand on top of the table. It adds a little bit more comfort, it's convenient, and when the phone sits in its stand, it mirrors the same kind of bend as the Sqft lamp above. To hide all the cables from the lamps and the smart home objects, I got these cable organizers from Amazon. Really help in terms of organizing cables and adding a certain level of management. And of course, making sure that you don't see all these cables running around through the apartment. Beside the living room are these shelves that I've installed from IKEA. Originally, they came into longer shelves, but I cut them and rounded the edges to make them appear more intentional and a permanent fixture to the unit. We've added additional memorabilia to the shelves to give the space a little bit more of our own personal style and memories. The aim to give this space more of our own personality was achieved. Also, it's a fantastic storage option for those items that you don't always want to be lying around and collecting dust. Across from the shelving is our laundry room. This sized space is pretty common in Toronto, meaning it's very small. I managed to fit in a lot more additional space using this storage rack. It holds our various cleaning items, a steamer, and of course our various laundry supplies. I've also added these additional adhesive rod holders. I've since converted them into a broom holder and our various vacuum attachment holders as well. The bathroom is pretty standard for Toronto. It's on the smaller size, not much storage, but I've honestly made the most out of it. I installed this pull-out drawer underneath the sink to be able to take full advantage of the space. Before, we'd put some stuff in the back and it would never get used or it would even expire. The drawer underneath has been organized through using this Sqft box compartment from IKEA. In the above storage, I fitted this shelf to perfectly align with our daily products like contact cases, toothbrushes, and hair products. Out of fear for our toothbrushes falling out of the cabinet and into the toilet beneath, I added this adhesive electronic toothbrush holder on the inside of the cabinet, and it manages to fit perfectly with millimeters to spare. On the inside of the shower, to further optimize the space, it was always a pet peeve of mine to see a variety of different bottles that really contrast the space. I managed to find these Maya Home bottles specifically from Amazon to hold all of our body wash, conditioner, and shampoo. It also holds all of our additional components that we need in the shower, such as silicone hair scrubs and of course a Bluetooth speaker. The Bluetooth speaker is waterproof, so if you're anything like me and you dance away in the shower, I highly recommend getting a Bluetooth waterproof speaker. And of course, again, we do also have a cell phone holder on top of the sink itself, so whenever you're doing your skincare, you can always catch up with the latest Netflix episodes. For my office, I do work remotely, so having a space that didn't consume the bedroom area and contain everything in one space while maintaining my productivity was essential to me. For work, I am a senior email marketing specialist, so I come up with the concepts, designs, and write for brands' email campaigns. My daily tasks involve attending several meetings with my clients, coming up with marketing campaigns that are applicable with my client's business, and of course, creating the variety of campaigns for their audience. For my current desk setup, I have the Trotten standard desk from IKEA. I added the Samsung M8 monitor that works with my MacBook, and it helps extend the display across 2 different screens, and it functions perfectly for what I need. For my laptop stand, I added the swivel laptop from Amazon. It works great for repositioning the webcam on calls or even adjusting my display from when I'm working with multiple screens at a time. In terms of cable management, I installed these cable management trays at the bottom of the standing desk to declutter the cables as much as possible. I added this bar light from Amazon. I picked a lamp that would specifically match the same size as the monitor so it doesn't stand out as a lamp. Probably my favorite space within my office is this pegboard that I installed along the wall. It holds all of my notebooks, pens, my glasses, watches, anything else that I really need to function and ensure that my work is of high quality. It's all isolated to just this one space that previously would not be used. On the same note, it was important for me to make sure that all of the items upheld the same aesthetic to make sure that nothing looked out of place. It was actually very difficult to locate a TV that accomplished both the mobility and the visual. I was able to find this TV stand on Amazon that had the same kind of look and shape that I needed. The pole of the stand was white, which helped blend in nicely with the space's white column in the corner. I did have to paint the base of the stand originally, as it was this marble blue looking sticker on top, which really stood out, and it certainly didn't match the aesthetic I was after. After some sanding down of the base, I painted the base white and added this plant caddy to the base of the stand itself, and were able to have movie night in the bedroom or even in the living room. And finally, I added these ceramic vases that I got from West Elm to help balance the weight to the center of the stand itself. For the bed, this was actually given to us by my former roommate in my previous apartment. The bed frame itself is from IKEA, and it does come with these under bed storage, which fits perfectly if you live in a smaller space. For additional storage, I got these desk organizers to hold items that we use regularly at night, like the books that we're usually reading, controllers for the Switch that's behind the TV, or even sleep masks. For the bedside tables, I got these from Wayfair. They looked really good in this space, and again, they work with our circular motif and match our aesthetic. I wanted to make sure that our bedside tables weren't rectangular in shape, as it kind of acts as a wall and a barrier. I added these pots from Amazon that I painted white, adding them underneath of the bedside table. I put in these snake plants as well, just to add a touch of color to the space, and it also hides our cell phone cords from view. Typically, I stick to snake plants in the space, as we do get a lot of sunlight in the space, and they actually grow incredibly quick. And again, snake plants are fantastic as air purifiers, so it really complements having them in the bedroom to add a touch of color, works with the aesthetic, and as well, heals us. For our closet, it's very smaller in size, so we've really had to make the most out of it. The closet originally came with these white shelving. It's pretty common, specifically in Toronto, which was quite limiting. I did add these white boxes specifically from IKEA to extend the space and offer more shelving, and it helps elevate the space and makes it feel taller as soon as you enter. I also added this additional element from Wayfair, which is our laundry hamper. It offers 3 different sections, both for my own laundry, for my partner's laundry, and for unified laundry, like our towels, dishcloths, and hand towels. And one of my favorite spaces is our 22-foot balcony. This balcony is a fantastic escape from our daily lives. It's a great way to take a 10-minute break and just enjoy the view of Toronto. I've used these IKEA tiles across our balcony. It gives the space a little bit more warm feel, and of course it avoids that concrete default that often Toronto apartments have on their balconies. To match the wooden floor tiles, I got the Namur outdoor chair from IKEA. To match the white canvas cushions, I added these additional pots that I got from EQ3. I love this sphere look in addition to match the rest of our apartment. It both unifies the outdoors with the indoors and as well adds a sense of elegance to contrast IKEA's cheap appearance. We also added the additional outdoor dining set from IKEA. Often in the summer, we will eat outdoors and enjoy as much of the summer as we possibly can. If you guys like this video and you wanted further videos, please let me know what you guys would like to see again in the future down in the comment section below. See you guys in the next video.